Hi guys, so this video is walking you guys through your first essay assignment. In this unit, you guys have read a number of different accounts of the early settlers' experiences, not only from the settler point of view, but from the Native American point of view as well. So you guys are going to essentially be contextualizing one of these works within the framework of the larger historical perspective. So um, you guys have read a number of texts in the unit, so you're going to choose one of the authors and texts that you have read in this unit. You're going to develop a written analysis of that particular work that we read in the unit. And you can choose more than one if you like, although I don't really recommend it. It's a short essay, and I think it's probably stronger if you keep your focus on one text. But you're going to essentially analyze the text as a piece of literature, and secondarily incorporating contextual elements related to their life, the cultural history, or the larger historical impact. So really you're looking at, why does the text matter? What does the text say? And how does that reflect the issues of the time, whether those are social, political, economic, or philosophical? And kind of how does this help reflect the new American identity that was being formed at this time? So you guys have read Columbus, de Vaca, John Smith, Winthrop, Bradford, American Trickster Tales, and Bradstreet. So you're going to choose one of the texts. Again, it has to be one of the texts we read in this unit, and analyze why these matter in the larger historical perspective. So some questions to sort of think about. How does the author or work influence or impact the social, political, or economic changes that were happening in America at this time? How does the author or work fit or not fit within this new American identity? So for example, if you have this new concept of what it is to be an American identity, how does Anne Bradstreet say represent that or not represent that as a transatlantic female poet? How does the author work help shape the new American ideal? So how do we get a new understanding of, say, the native people from De Vaca versus, say, if you chose to analyze Columbus instead? How does the author approach the subject matter? So, for example, with Christopher Columbus, how does he approach the idea of this new world? What kind of language does he use? What kind of syntax is he using? Is it very is it central focused? Does he use the word pronoun I, say, all the time? What about De Vaca? Does he use descriptive imagery? So think about how they're trying to achieve a certain message or goal, and then how are those historically situated? So, for example, in any of the founders' texts, what is the goal? Who are they trying to convince of something? So, really, the goal, the most important part is that you look at these as literature. So don't let this become a biography or a history paper. You want to do what I'm essentially doing in the lectures, which is where you're breaking it down as a piece of literature. So you're looking at things like characterizations, metaphors, similes, imagery, all of those things. And then secondarily thinking about, how are these things helping to achieve a certain goal or portray people a certain way or reflecting certain social or political changes that are happening during this time. So you do need to have one research resource in your work. This must be a credible source. It can be something like PBS or history.com or biography.com. Those are fine. It can be about the work. What you can't do is use something like GradeSaver or things like that. No Wikipedia as well. Make sure you cite it correctly in text and have a separate bibliography which lists the research source and the text that you're analyzing on it. As far as the structure, make sure you have a clear thesis and main ideas. Expand on those with good evidence from the source and from the text. So make sure that you're pulling specific quotes from the research source and from the text. Most importantly, that helps show what you're talking about. So if you are going to tell me that, say, Cabeza de Vaca uses empathetic imagery or empathetic language, say, to talk about the Native American people, you need to pull out specific quotes which show that language in use. If you're going to say Columbus uses, personalized syntax, say a personal pronoun I, to keep the focus on himself versus the native people, then you need to pull out specific quotes which show that. Your essay does need to be 1.5 to at least 2 pages in length, and is due by Sunday, February 9th at 11:59 p.m. So you need to make sure you meet the minimum page length. So that means 1.5 full pages. You're always welcome to go over. You just can't go under that. And proper MLA formatting as well. So make sure you have your header in the top left corner, your title, your page numbers in the top right, and your bibliography separate, or at least after the essay. And again, make sure that everything is checked for plagiarism through Safe Assign. So you guys are going to be assessed on making sure that you have a good, close analysis of the work and its major concepts. So again, the key criteria is that you're looking at the literature as a piece of literature, that this does not become a biography essay or a history essay. Secondarily, you can incorporate ideas around the identity of the author or the historical situation to kind of support that. Good, solid evidence from the text to support your claims. So that's both your primary and your secondary sources. Proper number of sources, so make sure you have at least one. Proper page length, MLA formatting, and citations in text and on the bib. And then a fully developed essay structure with a good intro and thesis, clear main ideas, and a conclusion. Make sure everything is carefully organized and clear as well. Don't let it kind of ramble or become a stream of consciousness. Some ideas that you could think about when writing this essay. Any of these literary elements would be prime focus for a literary analysis essay. So you can think about things like characterization, think about archetypes, think about who's the protagonist, the antagonist, who's developed, who's flat. Think about literary devices like similes, metaphors, personifications, flashbacks, foreshadowing, irony. Think about the structure, think about the dramatic arc. So the exposition, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, the denouement. Think about conflict. Is this man versus man versus society, man versus nature? The solution, the POV, the narrator. And then think about literary concepts like themes, motifs, allusions, symbols, symbolism. And then lastly, secondarily, think about the historical context. So think about the author, the work, the historical events that were surrounding that, that publication of that text. So the ethical and moral issues that were happening, the social issues, political, whatever it might be. So if you guys have questions, let me know. Otherwise, go ahead and begin working on your essay. And if you have ideas and you're not sure, go ahead and email me, and I can do my best to give you guys some thoughts or advice on what might work.